Do you guys remember Senator Pat Toomey? Just a couple days ago, he introduced a bill to the Senate that would essentially block the SEC from ever banning payment for order flow. Now, there is a lot of conflict of interest when I'm going through him and his wife's investments. That is what I want to bring to you guys in this video. I still have more digging to do, but there are some clear conflict of interest that I do want to share with you guys right here, right now. As well as that, I want to go over next week what is going on in the markets with the Fed tapering, what days that they are expected to be tapering, and what this effect will have on the markets, or a potential effect it could have on the markets. So if you guys get some value out of this video, hit that like button, consider subscribing to the channel. Feel free to share this video with other people that want more insight into this situation, because this did take quite a bit of digging, and like I said, I still have more digging to go through, and if I do find anything else, I will bring that to you guys in a video. So let's get into this video. So Senator Pat Toomey of Pennsylvania, if we just go through his contributors to his elections, right, whoever donates to his elections, you guys can see the top donators: Club for Growth, Rothman Institute, Goldman Sachs, Federated Investors, Inc., Exelon Corp., PNC Bank, PPL Corp., Fidelity Investments, Comcast, Blackstone, Wells Fargo, Bank of America. A lot of these guys that have a clear interest in payment for order flow, that want to, essentially keep this around. So right there, that's a little bit of, what to start off this video about. But if you actually dig into his personal, him and his wife, actually his kids have to report what they invest in as well. But if you do look at this, there's a lot of things that are really conflicting, so that don't make a lot of sense. So right here, SRI Capital Fund 1 LP, this is a joint, so between him and his wife, business entity limited partnership, and the description: venture capital fund that invests in startup technology companies. And if you look this up, I just went to Fintel to look this up, SRI Capital Fund 1 LP. This actually went private in 2013, so they could be investing, they could be fully invested in Robinhood. We would never know. They could be invested in a lot of things that have a clear benefit from payment for order flow. So right there, very, very sketchy. And since they are a private company, they don't have to disclose what the amount of their investment is. You guys can see right here, this is where the amount would be, and they just don't have to do that. So very, very weird right there. You can't necessarily say that that's fraud or that they're being paid off or anything by that, but definitely very weird nonetheless. And something else that I do want to point out as well is they have been buying a lot of ARK Innovation ETFs. So you guys can see right here, ARK Innovation ETF. This is his wife, so his spouse actually bought this. And guess what they own? They own Robinhood, the 24th largest holding of 8.8 million shares at $312 million, 1.45% of their portfolio. So right here is a clear, provable conflict of interest. They obviously have an interest to see Robinhood remain to be able to capture payment for order flow, which is about 82% of the total revenue of Robinhood, which would essentially render Robinhood virtually, decapacitate Robinhood from doing any kind of growth in their business, or at least would hurt them very, very bad. Take away 82% of payment for order flow, you're going to be in a very bad financial state if you are Robinhood. So right there, clear conflicts of interest. Now, I still have a lot more digging to do. Obviously, there's a lot of things to go through, try to connect the dots where they have, mutual benefit to keep payment for order flow not be banned, right? If that makes any sense to you guys. So definitely still some digging to do. There's a lot to go through, as you guys can see right here. You can basically scroll on and on and on. So I will, bring that to you guys when I do find it. A lot of interest in Morgan Stanley, though. As we do know, all of these financial institutions, they benefit from payment for order flow one way or another. So this is basically my project for the day. I want to dig into this, see how much I can find. But those two things right there, huge conflicts of interest that I did, like I said, just want to bring to you guys very shortly and basically give you guys the rundown of there is a conflict of interest already that I have been finding. A lot of interest though, like I said, in Morgan Stanley, just a lot of different accounts, a lot of investments in them. So that's something that I will definitely be digging into more in depth later on today. As well as that, guys, let's talk about what is going to be going on this upcoming week that could affect the markets. Who knows when AMC earnings are going to be? Some people say it's the 1st, some people say it's the 7th, and Robinhood, they say it's the 9th. Who knows? It's not been actually confirmed from what I can find. If you go to AMC's website, go to Investor Relations, there is no day of Q3 earnings. All it will tell you is of last earnings that was August 9th. So who knows the actual day? I think this could have an impact, obviously, to the overall markets, not necessarily to what is going to happen with AMC though. I think once earnings come, it's not going to matter what's going on in the overall markets. You're going to see a big rally either way. And let's just get into it. So what is Fed tapering? So tapering down 2021. The Federal Reserve is expected to start tapering in November, which means its plans to reduce the amount of stimulus it has been putting into the economy. Economic growth and rising inflation have the Fed feeling confident that it is time to reduce the amount of stimulus. And they have been putting about $40 billion into mortgage-backed securities and about $80 billion per month into bonds in the overall markets, basically junk bonds. They're a big reason why a lot of these companies that were hit really hard from the onset of the pandemic did not go bankrupt, because the Fed basically took the back end of these bad bonds, so they didn't necessarily have to pay that interest back to junk bond holders. So that's a situation. It provides a lot of liquidity. It's basically a cushion for the housing market for a lot of these bad companies, these junk bond companies. So that's what you guys need to know from that. That's basically what tapering is. And the way they're going to do this, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, if you guys know this, they're going to be reducing these purchases by about $10 billion per month for about the next 6 months. A little bit more with the overall junk bonds that they are purchasing, the $80 billion. They're going to be knocking that down, I believe, $15 billion per month. Mortgage-backed securities, about $10 billion per month, until they are virtually at nothing per month for about 6 months. Then that will be the ultimate tapering, and there will be very little economic support from the Fed. Now, this actual meeting is going to be November 2nd through the 3rd. Now, November 2nd is, let's see, I just got the new Windows update, so it's kind of weird. I'm not used to it yet, but the 2nd through the 3rd is Tuesday and Wednesday, and they're going to be also giving their economic outlook and their guidelines, what they expect to be happening in the economy with inflation, a lot of other things, Tuesday in Wednesday. So that's going to be big. Investors are going to be paying attention to that. That's going to be the whole attention of next week, as we did get all of the big companies reported earnings last week, and that was a mixed bag. Some were good, some were bad. Microsoft's were really good. Apple, Amazon's not as well, but still not bad by any means necessary. Now, Bill Ackman calls for the Fed to start raising interest rates as soon as possible. This was October 29th, so yesterday at 1:28 p.m. Key points: billionaire hedge fund manager Bill Ackman called for the Fed to raise interest rates and start cutting its monthly asset purchases immediately. We are continuing to dance while the music is playing, and it is time to turn the music down and settle down, he said in a tweet. Ackman's Pershing Square is underperforming the S&P this year after a stellar 2020 run. So probably, has a conflict of interest there. He probably wants it to go down for, some financial incentive for himself. But obviously, if they do say anything about raising interest rates, that would send the markets into probably a panic, as a lot of investors don't expect interest rates to even get their first interest rate hike until at least the fourth quarter of 2022, if not 2023. So a lot to keep in mind when it comes down to AMC and your individual investment in AMC. I think earnings, that's going to be a huge catalyst for AMC. I think personally we're going to hit all-time highs coming after earnings, as Adam Aaron is expected to announce some great things. They're going to beat on earnings. Their estimated earnings amounts, their revenue amounts, is projected at about $768.8 million. I think they could hit $1 billion, and that is only my opinion. If that happens, you're going to see a lot of momentum, a lot of enthusiasm, a lot of FOMO buyers, as well as if they just announce new business lines, like the video I put out earlier today, and well, not yesterday, but just the two earlier today, we kind of talked about that briefly. And AMC, the silverback, Adam Aaron, he did say that they are going to be branching out their business. So the next 6, 18, 24, 30 months from now, that will be the real success, when AMC is much more than a theater company. And I think we could get an announcement or a plan to go off of on earnings. So that's going to be very, very important. So that's going to be all for this video. Just keep in mind, November 2nd through the 3rd, expect a lot of volatility. I would be careful with your trades depending if you are trading this. I don't know if I'm trading this. If I do, you guys will be notified in the buy and sell alerts. And if you guys want to be a part of that, link down below in the description of this video. You guys be notified every time I make a trade in stock options and or crypto, and that is very inexpensive to be a part of, as well as that link for Public, link for Weevil in the description of this video as well. There's totally free stock with Public. You guys don't even have to link a bank account or deposit a single dollar to do that. They also do not use payment for order flow. So you guys enjoy the rest of your weekend, and I will see you in the next one.